Welcome back once again to the News Media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to believe this. It is now officially that Kenyan citizen voters elected a tourist president during the last general election.
When he's not flying, he's planning to fly. Kenya's fifth president, William Samoei Ruto, is the undisputed king of the skies as far as the number of foreign trips.
The fifth president of this country of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, is a president that likes touring rather than facing the real challenges that Kenyans are facing across the country of Kenya on the ground under his leadership. Because when William Samoei Ruto is not flying, he's preparing to fly. If you don't see President William Samoei Ruto on top of his sunroof vehicle across the country of Kenya, campaigning together with his crew under Kenya Kwanza government, you will see President William Samoei Ruto leaving the country.
Watakuwa tu na maneno tatu. Watakuja waseme one term, Kasongo, must to go. Hiyo ni ujinga, si ujinga.
Hata nilishangaa sana. Ati nimesikia jana ati wanasema unaona ule William Ruto halali amekonda. Sasa mimi nawaambia wale wa good for nothing opposition, we are ready for you. Sema namjua ule alifukuzwa bunge. Ule alifukuzwa na bunge. Ule mtu wa pepo ya ukabila. Mtu bure. Mtu mkabila.
Like right now, today on Friday, as we speak right now, after William Samoei Ruto wrap up with his 10 days visit to South Africa, Belgium, Norway, Germany, and Finland, William Samoei Ruto is set to leave the country again today in the evening to France to attend the G7 summit between June 15th and 17th.
You know, I was looking at one of the headlines in the newspapers, William Ruto is traveling again. You know, I wish they knew the kind of schedule that I have. You know, I wish they knew what I've come to do. You know, I have not come here as a tourist. I have not come here to waste time. I have come here pointedly to make sure that we achieve certain things. Just for the record, I am the chief diplomat of our country. You know, people want to know what does Kenya stand for.
Ndio Ruto amerudi tu leo asubuhi kutoka Ethiopia. Akaingia State House, akabadilisha manguo, akaenda Marsabit, akapanga watu wa Marsabit na mambo ya Totan, akarudi State House, akasign finance bill the CS of Treasury John Mbadi alisoma jana.
We turn our focus to the Treasury under the man now steering Kenya's economic ship, John Mbadi. Once a firebrand in opposition benches across the aisle to become Cabinet Secretary for Finance. His appointment was hailed as a move to bring expertise into government. As KTN's Vera Mora reports, Mbadi presides over record budgets and rising taxes, sparking questions about whether the former critic has become the government's most loyal defender. Take a look.
To make either decision.
Many may forget this opposition stalwart John Mbadi, once the fiercest critic of government excesses, a man who stood on the floor of parliament to denounce runaway borrowing and punitive taxation. Now, Mbadi is no longer the watchdog. He is the cabinet secretary for the National Treasury, an expert donated to the Kenya Kwanza government coalition in the spirit of broad-based administration. Mbadi, once hailed as a stalwart of policy and service delivery, has strayed from his previous principles and marched straight into the Kenya Kwanza chain of thought. Today, the borrowed expert John Mbadi seems firmly aligned with the government of the day, standing squarely in the president's corner as he presides over the highest tax burden in Kenya's history. For 2 consecutive years since taking up the Treasury docket in the wake of Gen Z-led protests, Mbadi has presided over ballooning budgets from 4 trillion Kenyan shillings in the financial year 2024-2025 to his first budget at 4.2 trillion Kenyan shillings in the financial year 2025-2026, and now a record 4.8 trillion Kenyan shillings in the financial year 2026-2027. Taxes have risen sharply, fuel levies, VAT exemptions, all under the watch of the man who once warned against squeezing Kenyans dry.
that you want to go the other side.
Mbadi finds himself under the microscope. When he stood over the Treasury docket in 2024, he promised a new era of fiscal discipline, improved revenue collection, and relief for ordinary Kenyans struggling under the weight of high living costs.
To present the economic context,
his first budget, the 2025-2026 estimates, was framed as a balancing act: stimulate growth while taming debt, expand social spending while keeping inflation in check. But by mid-2026, debt servicing consumed over 1.3 trillion Kenyan shillings. Domestic borrowing surged, crowding out private sector credit and raising interest rates. Fertilizer subsidies lowered farm input costs and boosting maize production, but fuel, transport prices kept household budgets under strain. Food inflation, coupled with new levies, meant that many Kenyans saw little relief despite government interventions. His reputation as an expert is now being tested against the reality of Kenya's fiscal constraints. John Mbadi, the borrowed expert, has delivered numbers but not yet relief. And as Kenya heads into another budget cycle, the question lingers: will the expert John Mbadi's treasury find a way to ease the burden of citizens? Or will promises continue to collide with the hard limits of debt and deficit? Vera Mura, KTN.
Tena saizi rais ashatoka anaenda France. Yaani sisi tulichagua tu rais ambaye anapenda kutembea tembea. Yetu huku rais anatembea, yetu we are being told that hakuna pesa ya kulower taxes, ya kumake sure that fuel haipandi. Tunaambiwa that hakuna pesa ya kumake free education. Tunaambiwa that hakuna pesa ya kutoa hizi maneno ya Mbadi classroom, because we still have Mbadi classroom across the country of Kenya. 1 week ago, I told you on this platform that Ruto was going to spend $500 million on his trip across the Africa. Akitoka kwa hii country, anaenda kwa hii country. I don't know why Ruto is afraid of his own citizen. Mr. President, why are you running from the challenges that we are facing? Because we are not even benefiting from these trips. Akitoka hapa, anaenda hapa. Akitoka hapa, anaenda hapa. What is happening? Yani, sijaiona ati Ruto amekata siku 2 kwa State House ama kwa Harambee House akipanga maneno ya wananchi wa Kenya. Venye wananchi wa Kenya wanaweza ishi vizuri, venye hizi matax zinaweza punguzwa. Hakuna. Yesterday I did a video here explaining to you on how Kindiki have spent 222 million in just 9 months in his trip, alongside 76 million jini za nini. Kindiki normally spend 1 million per day on his trip across the country of Kenya. William Ruto have spent 1.3 billion in just 9 months. That is 145 million per month. Yenye Ruto atatumia kwa kuzurura tu hapa Kenya na outside the country. 1.3 billion. For these 14 days that Ruto is going to be outside the country of Kenya, Ruto is going to spend $500 million. That is like how much? $500 million. $500 million is like 500 million. Yeah, because I think that 1 billion is like 1,000 million. Ama nimedanganya? Tuseme tu kweli. Yaani nashangaa tu wananchi wa Kenya, tulichagua tu rais ambaye anapenda tu kuzurura. During the impeachment of Gachagua in 2024, Ruto was not in Kenya. During the anti-government protests by the judges that were killed illegally, Ruto was not in Kenya. He was just giving orders. During the Sabasaba protest last year in 2025, Ruto was not in Kenya. He was just giving orders on how judges were to be killed. During the fuel protest this year, Ruto was not in Kenya. Hakwa alitoka 2 days to that fuel protest. Akatoka. During the Ebola protest, after feeling the heat behind the Ebola that Kenyans rejected, Ruto alitoka hapa Kenya akaenda South Africa, akamaliza siku 3 akarudi Kenya, akapanga mambo ya Gor Mahia 1 2 3 akawapewa 10 million jimara nini, akapanga mambo yake ya tutam, akabadilisha nguo, kaenda Ethiopia. Akakaa Ethiopia like 2 to 3 days, akarudi Kenya. Leo on Friday kaingia State House, akabadilisha manguo, akaoga, akaenda Marsabit, akapanga mambo yake ya tutam, kuambia wananchi venye huko nje anapanga maneno venye tunaweza Yani development akafanya 1 2 3 huko pia anapanga, akienda huko pia anapanga maneno, ikaisha. Sasa anaenda France, akitoka France atarudi hapa Kenya, atamaliza sijui kama siku 3 nini, arudi hapa Kenya tena anapanga mambo yake ya 2 term, tena anatoka. So it is upon Kenyans to decide come 2027 whether we want to elect again a tourist president, or we want a president that can face the real challenges that we are undergoing in this country of Kenya, which is true. Rais kila siku anatoka tu. Ruto is just running from urgent issues, from real challenges that we are facing. Instead of William Ruto facing challenges that Kenyans are undergoing, Ruto is wasting taxpayers' money going to look for development. How will that development help Kenyans? Yet here in Kenya, there is nothing like development. Taxes are high. How will things develop, Mr. President? No. Sometimes unaonanga tu wananchi wa Kenya ni kama watu wenye hawajielewi. Kwani umechukua wananchi wa Kenya aje? He's busy talking about 2 term, 1 term, instead of facing the real challenges. Ruto is not even talking about on how he can make sure that he lower prices, the prices of taxes. He's not even thinking about that one. He's just thinking of 2 term, 1 term, attacking opposition. See you in the next video, my great viewers. Subscribe, comment, like, and share the video. Bye bye.